The video on the left is a 2.5-minute video advertising a $6 DLC character. The video on the right is a 45-minute video advertising a $6 DLC character. On the left, you will notice how the video is full of action, excitement, and immersion. On the right, you will notice boredom, awkwardness, and discomfort. One highlights its product well, while the other does not. Unless you are a hardcore Sakurai enthusiast, what he does to make his gameplay enjoyable isn't working that well. Now, it's not that the Smash Bros. Team doesn't also have a gameplay trailer to hype their DLC. It's just that Sakurai has this additional presentation that he fills up with a grab bag of different content. Some of it is what people look forward to finding out about, such as moves, outfits, or if there are any other surprises in store. The problem is that his presentations are just terrible at presenting things. There are many flaws that come with these Sakurai Directs. You will notice for a $6 digital product, these videos are just too long. There are Nintendo Directs that are half as long as these that reveal far more exciting gameplay. In order to need that much time, over a half hour, close to an hour, to highlight a $6 DLC item is just bananas. He does go over a lot, but he can clearly cut it all down to 10 minutes. If he really has to shoot these videos as part of his job, I don't see why they can't be short, concise, and to the point. But if it were up to me, I would get rid of them. Because having them to begin with can really influence a person's interest in the DLC for the worse, instead of for the better. Because there's no reason why the gameplay trailer isn't enough. Customers never have a problem where, oh, there's not enough information about these characters, like Sakurai fills a much-needed void by showing off everything there is to know about this DLC. If you want people to download DLC, sometimes it's best to leave stuff behind the scenes so you don't spoil enough for them to not have to make the purchase. Mortal Kombat players don't have to see what certain characters are all about, for instance. If you're a fan of RoboCop, you should know he has his handgun, hidden blades, and other gadgets. Most consumers don't have to be assured that since we're already drawn in by the thrilling trailer already. Same with a character like Melina. We know she can roll and bite and use her size to stab. We don't need to be assured that since, well, she's Melina. Fans should already know what these characters are all about, but before I proceed further, let's talk a little about the structure of these Sakurai Directs. How exactly does he fill each of these presentations with to occupy time? There are 4 core elements about each of these presentations that are all seemingly essential to their purpose, but all add up to make these presentations very unappealing. The first of these 4 elements is the background, as in what this character is about. Now this is going to sound repetitive, I feel I have to explain this in full since it ties in with the early parts of Sakurai's presentations. So, guest characters have been a staple in fighting games to the point where nearly every fighting game nowadays has at least one. Guest characters exist so that developers can try to sell the game to more fans. In nearly every instance, these are characters that have large followings so that there is a hefty return on investment. Even if you don't know who the Warden is, for example, you don't have to. His game has been played by over 15 million people, so what matters here is how many For Honor players purchase Samurai Showdown. Then we have Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Brawlhalla, King of Fighters, Soul Calibur, Blaze Blue, all these big franchises investing in guest characters as a means to make money and generate new customers. Sakurai unfortunately doesn't seem to have a comprehension of that. Or if he does, he hardly ever shows it. These DLC characters vary greatly in popularity and success, but he makes it painfully obvious in each of these presentations that nearly all of these characters are for him. It's not about what benefits the product, but instead, who he wants to put in his product because it satisfies him. He'll make the excuse that Nintendo chose the DLC characters, except they didn't. Sakurai will lead us to believe that oh, this character was picked because it's very successful. Oh, this character would make the fans happy despite it belonging to a competitor and they could very much do something big with this character one year. Oh, this character we just felt like throwing money at. Oh, this character we wanted to promote its game over all the other Switch games we have on offer. Yeah, that's not how this works. More often than not, these Nintendo executives are not gamers themselves, so they don't have such a thought process. How can you convince me that either of these two gentlemen are even remotely interested in games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, ARMS, or even Minecraft? They'll often want to follow what's successful, rather than try to revive unsuccessful endeavors. When you look at Mario Kart 8's guest characters, you can clearly see they're all characters from successful series. The producer of Mario Kart 8 followed a simple formula. Those that resonate with Isabelle will be interested in Mario Kart 8, and those that do not resonate with Isabelle will not. Needless to say, it's worked. 33 million copies later, where's the lie? We don't see Fire Emblem or ARMS anywhere. Because again, it doesn't work that way. Developers don't invest time and money into guest characters, hoping that fans go in the other direction and purchase another game. Yet that's Sakurai's excuse every time there's a character from a series that doesn't resonate with a lot of people. And that segues into these presentations. It's a large part of why they're so long and drag on for just a $6 product. At the start of each of these presentations, for most of these characters, Sakurai feels the need to explain who these characters are and what games they appear in. And that right there is why this advertisement already falls apart. If you feel you have to explain who this character is, then you've made a poor decision. It's like telling a joke and then needing to explain it to the audience afterwards in order to try to get the audience to laugh. The audience should already understand the joke, just like this audience should already know who this character is, otherwise you are wasting both our time. Sakurai likely assumes that his audience doesn't know who the character is, but thinks that doing so will make his audience more intrigued, which doesn't work like that. Again, for most consumers, you are either a fan of that character already, or you aren't, and you likely have come across a game or product featuring the character before and were not interested. This happened to me personally. I played separate demos of both Bayonetta games, and I did not care when she was put in Smash Bros. So I did not buy her, and Sakurai failed to make me a third time. So there is no point in having to explain a character. If you know who the character is, an explanation is clearly not needed. If you don't know who the character is, then you're probably not going to watch the video anyway. And if you want to learn more about a character, then clearly you can do research on the internet in the meantime. For some reason, if I don't know who the Joker is, do I expect Ed Boon of all people to lecture me? No. So in any case, this time devoted to explaining a character isn't necessary. Next, Sakurai goes over the character's list of moves. For an audience that has yet to spend a dime on the character, this is a big mistake. Here is why. I might be intrigued with a character and want to watch Sakurai's presentation to learn more, but then I might start to lose intrigue over time based on what is being showed. Because for the most part, it's rather boring. Having Sakurai demonstrate each move with him talking over it, with minimal action going on, is not exciting. We have trailers that show off the character's gameplay. That's why NetherRealm's trailers work for the most part. It shows enough without showing too much, and that's what makes these characters look so fun to play as, even characters like RoboCop. They feature these exciting combos with no prolonged tutorial of, here's what up tilt does, here's what down tilt does. It can also edge guard, etc. That's why it's better for gamers to buy the character first and then try the character out on their own. What is wrong with that? That way, there's a lot more intrigue, and the customer will purchase the DLC more likely than not based on what they want to find out more than what they already know. And as I said before, if the audiences already knows this character and wants this character, they're going to buy it regardless of what you're showing them on video. I tend to think that if all Sakurai showed was the actual trailer for the character, then I would feel more excited in addition to eager to experiment with the character on my own. But no. That's asking too much of him. You're not scaring consumers into not showing them enough, like oh no, he didn't show enough. I'm not gonna buy this. I know there are some fans that want to see everything before they pay for it, but they still can with other fighting games or for new games in general. We have websites that post reviews. If we want to see a tutorial of a character, there are countless ways we can get one that don't involve Sakurai. So yeah, Capcom, Namco, NetherRealm, they do a good job at presenting characters, and in turn, these trailers also help attract new customers. And then there are Easter eggs that Sakurai goes out of his way to show us that really do nothing for anybody. Like there's stuff inside the Minecraft houses. If I'm playing this game, the last thing I would care about is what's inside the houses. If I never get to see what inside the houses from normal gameplay, then why would you even put anything in the houses, let alone show us what is inside them? Are you afraid that not doing that would upset people? He's basically doing it to show off and receive praise from fans. The third big mistake that Sakurai does with these presentations is playing through an entire game mode. Why? Why is he going to play through classic Motor Spirit battles or whatever before anyone else has the chance to? If he thinks that is such a good idea, he should have played through World of Light the week of Smash Bros. Release. Show us and spoil everything, why not? What makes him think we would want to play a mode ourselves after we see him play it? I would like to know what the idea is here. Because if I see somebody else play through a game, it's very unlikely that I would want to spend money just to have a repeat experience, with some exceptions of course. Instead, why not leave the customer to explore on their own? That way, there are actual surprises in store for them, and they actually pay for the DLC rather than watch you play it for free. Playing through the campaign yourself before we even get to buy it just doesn't make sense. So what is the fourth element to the Sakurai presentations? Of course, it is Sakurai himself. He is the first thing fans see and the last thing fans see. He provides commentary for every second of the video. He loves to hear himself talk. He loves to be on camera. He loves to tell us lies and expects us to believe them. He loves to be the center of attention. And this often gets in the way of making a video that sells us on his product in an effective way. He is not here to sell himself. He is here to sell us on his product, so there is no reason why the main focus shouldn't be on his product. Things should be snappy, things should be easy to understand, he shouldn't be doing the same move over and over for 2 minutes, saying 2 words over and over. A lot of his stuff is just filler and doesn't even add to the presentation. If we never got to see Sakurai, and there was much more focus to be short, sweet, and to the point, then these videos would serve their purpose far better. But they don't. Instead, he wants to play celebrity with long, drawn-out sessions, as if that's the only true way to advertise his product. So that's what Sakurai's presentations are all about. They're too long, they're too boring, there is too much filler, there is too much of Sakurai, a lot of things are presented in a very dull way, things are revealed in an anticlimactic fashion, a lot of stuff is spoiled, and it can really play a factor in consumers reconsidering buying the DLC. Ouch. Here's what I think Sakurai should have done instead of this long, excess bullshit. I find it so bizarre that Smash Bros. Has yet to have any proper tutorial mode. All the other fighting games have tutorials. Sakurai should have instead made tutorials for each character. Character-specific tutorials do exist in Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat 11, and the King of Fighters series. This way, you would simply just show the action-packed trailer, the customer would buy the DLC, and then begin with their tutorial and start to learn how to play as that character by doing and not watching this other man play. In fact, a tutorial such as this would really help competitive players if they ever wanted to learn how to play as a different character. It doesn't take 45 minutes either.